Hey everybody, my next guest is a proud Italian-American comedian hailing from New York City, known for his sharp wit and authentic New York City humor. He will be headlining Governor's Comedy Club this Saturday night, so get your tickets while you can at govs.com. Here he is, folks, to tell us all about it, the one and only Joey Pork Chops. Yo, Pork Chops, what's
Hey,
up?
what's happening? What's going on?
Where you headed, man? I see you're cruising along right now.
I'm in Jersey right now, heading to Philly.
Uh,
Got a little show tonight, do a little pit stop over there. Got to get warmed up before the big show on Saturday.
there
You
you
know what I
go.
mean?
There you
It's
go,
gonna
brother. Yeah, you're doing
it's
the
gonna be
rounds.
a fun one.
Yeah, you're making it happen, bro. I'm stoked for you, man.
100%.
This is a huge thing,
Yeah,
man.
I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. Very big.
Yeah, man. And you got all your boys with you. You got Little Mo on here. You got Sean Brown, another killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what's in store for everybody on Saturday night.
I think we're gonna start off nice and crazy, and then we're gonna work our way into chaos. And then from that, it's going to be total anarchy at that point. That's what I kind of feel. I don't know why, but that's the vibe I'm getting from Saturday night.
So crazy
I
chaos
feel like
and
it's definitely going to be fun and anarchy, 100%.
crazy chaos into anarchy.
It's going to be pure mayhem.
Yeah, because like you guys all bring
Yeah,
it,
the thing is,
man.
I'm not holding back. Yeah, we're not holding back Saturday night. I mean, I know I'm not. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm going to
dude.
get pretty crazy Saturday.
You
Nothing's off the table. We're talking about everything.
Dude, every time I've seen you up on stage or anything I see you do, you never hold back. You always bring it 100, and I'm stoked for this, man. Um, yeah, so just give us a little background, man. Like so, because you've been killing it on the scene lately, on the especially in the Long Island scene with us, where you started getting into the Governor's universe. Tell me where it all started. How did you get involved with Governors and get into the Long Island scene? Because where are you from? You're from like the boroughs, right?
Yeah, I'm from Queens.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So yeah, so the way I got I started coming to Governors. So what happened was little Mo was actually going to Governors. He started going to Governors. He was doing I think Thursday nights and getting on stage, doing some reps. And he was talking to James about me. So he's like, "Oh, you got to meet my friend. He's very funny." Da da da. So they called me up on FaceTime one night to whatever. So he goes, "Let me put you on the phone, introduce you to James." As soon as James gets on the FaceTime call, I said, "Wait a minute. Before we say another word in this conversation, first and foremost, you got such a head of hair. Like you got a Ferrari on your head. Are you serious right now? Dressed in a suit with a Ferrari? Are you out of your mind?" He just looked at me and was like, "You got to get down to Governors." And then 2 weeks later, there was a guy, Paul Aaliyah. So he usually works with, he's best friends with Matt Rife. They were doing the show at the time, Low Key Comedy.
Right.
And he came into town. He was playing McGuire's. So he calls me up. He's like, I got to bring an Italian New Yorker to the show for my host. So I ended up hosting that show. And that was actually the first time I played at Governors. And the rest has been history.
Wow. So basically, word of mouth through the scene is what got you to Governors, and then, just getting on there with somebody like James and just not being intimidated. I guess he must have liked that. He must have been like, this is a guy I grew up with. Seems like a
Yeah,
regular
he's
neighborhood
like
guy.
one of the neighborhood. You know what I mean? We're like neighborhood guys. He reminds me of could be one of my friends, an uncle, or cousin, or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's just I have a tremendous amount of respect for James. He's the best. He's one of the best comedy clubs owners, hands down, across the country. Like there's no two ways about that.
Dude, I totally agree. James is an awesome guy, awesome club owner. He's great for the comedians. He's always looking out for the club, for the comics. He's done a lot for us, for me and Tony
Yeah.
Walker, for helping us produce our movies and things. And he's always just been very supportive of the comedy scene and of all the comics. So yeah, props and shout out to James Dolce for all he does. And and that's just pretty awesome that he sees and what the potential in you and to give you kind of the keys to the castle for Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a big thing, you know. Mo got behind it. He was all happy. You know, he gave it a good push, Mo. So, you know, he put in a good word as well. So, you know, everybody came together and it was just, you know, let's make it happen. I mean, I'm trying to sell tickets like a maniac right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I
we're gonna be.
don't
This
stop.
will be out tomorrow. This will be out Friday night. So you got everybody go out to govs.com. We'll put the website below here, and it'll be in the thing for you to click on the link and go to it and buy tickets now for Saturday night. You got to see this. It's Joey Pork Chops, Little Mo, Sean Brown, and you guys have toured together already. Like so, you guys
Yeah.
are like a little touring unit.
Right. Yeah, we've been touring. We were touring from like January to June, so it's just it's a good mix. You know, I know Mo since I'm a little kid. We've been good friends, best friends since we're little kids. So it's that dynamic is good because we know each other very well, so we can play off each other's strong points and weaknesses. Sean Brown was a great person to throw into the mix. Very funny, very uplifting, positive kid. Sean Brown's the best. So between Mo and Sean Brown, I mean, like the three amigos out there.
That's awesome, man. And I can imagine the havoc you guys must rise. You talk about crazy chaos and anarchy. The three of you guys on the road, that must be fucking nuts.
Yeah, between doing stupid stuff, fighting about things, making fun of each other. You know what I mean? That's what we do. You know?
How long you been married for?
15 years.
Fifth? How many?
15.
Oh, we on your second marriage over here? Look at you getting around. What is this, number 2 or 3? This is Long Island, you know what I'm saying? Anybody from Massapequa? Yeah. What are you on, number 4? So 15 years, like, what happened? You met her like bingo? Like, what's up? She's like, come meet me at the back chapel. Old school style, right?
And you've been blowing up, dude. Like, I don't know how long you've been doing stand up, but I feel like you're just a natural on stage. You have like the presence, the likability, the material, and I think sometimes comics they might have one or the other, but to have all of the things and you have all the tools,
Thank you.
yeah, you're just a natural up there. Like take me through your comedy background. How long you been doing it?
So I've been doing stand up now like 6 years. I've been doing it.
Nice.
I just been putting in work. I mean, when I say work, a lot of people don't see the work you put into it. They see you on stage like, oh, you're so lucky. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, I worked for this opportunity. You don't understand the hours of traveling. Like when I was in Boston for like a year and a half, I would, after work, shoot down to New York on a Thursday, do a 10-minute spot at Governor's for free and go back home. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Yeah.
I put in the work in that beginning. Like you do the fundraiser shows. It's like you're happy to get up on stage. You can get on stage on a big room like Governors. You know what I mean? In the beginning, comedians don't care about money. They want to get on stage. They want to be able to get on stage. So that was a great opportunity just to even get on stage. So I would be running back and forth, state to state, Philly to New York, all in one night, just to get on stage for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like in the beginning. So, and I was doing that a lot. I'd go to Florida. I'd go to friggin' LA. I'd go everywhere and travel. And, I wasn't probably the first 3 or 4 years of my career, I didn't have on video. I wasn't videotaping it. So
Right.
no one
Right.
really knows. They just see now like the last couple of years and it's like, oh wow, you're like, you know what I mean? But there was 4 more years before that no one's seen. But traveling, paying for my own hotels, flights, it was costing me thousands to be on a show. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but you put in the work. If it's something you want and something you want to do, you got to put in the work to achieve it. And I did consistently put in that work. So this is, I guess, the fruits of my labor now.
Yeah. Right on, dude. It only took you 6 years to be an overnight sensation. So, right.
And it doesn't help having good friends that
Right.
push you in the right direction, that give you the opportunities like James, like Mo, like everybody else out there, Mike Marino. These guys
Yeah.
all gave me great opportunities. So, I love them for it. I respect them for it, So it's, you can't do it alone.
Right,
It
exactly.
takes a team to make a Netflix special, I always say.
Right on, dude. Because you need the support system and you need friends around you to also, like they say, if you hang out with nine broke guys, you're bound to be the 10th one. The same is the opposite way. If you hang out with talented people, you're going to grow within that talent. Osmosis will take place. And a lot of times, like you said, the hard work that goes into it, the traveling, the expenses, kind of the grind of it all gets overlooked and people just start they overlook it. They just see the end result. They don't understand what has gone into all the work and you know and how that has made you better through the years. Like if you go back and to those early years, what have you learned along the way that you didn't realize that you had to learn?
That this is just not about being funny. This is a business, and there's many different factors that play into this than just being funny. You know what I mean? Like you even said about, you got to be likable. If no one likes you, you're not going to be around. If the fans think you're funny, but you don't go greet them, or you don't this, or you're very unsociable, or it's people tend to get away. Unless you're a big guy, then you can get away with that. But in the beginning, you kind of have to run those reps and, be the people person. I thank God I'm like that already, so I don't really have to try.
Because it is a fine line because you have likability on stage and you're fun and it's always fun and you're playing off with the audience and everybody's in on it together, but you do have a gruff also shell, your gruff demeanor. You're like
Right,
you're a wise guy type of, like, hey, you fuck, look at you stupid, like you like you know what I mean. So it's this fine line that not everybody can be Don Rickles. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody could
right,
do what you do. It's that persona that radiates,
right,
that you said is natural gift that you have already.
right. Sometimes it's, some people like, oh, you're a little mean, but I'm like, here's the thing. Anyone I'm talking to or joking around with, especially in the crowd, I will never say anything to offend them. Like, I feel like they have to laugh too. Comedy should be inclusive. I don't want to single anyone out and make them feel like shit, but they see my personality. So when I'm like, the fuck, this fucking guy, like they just laugh. They think it's funny. They know I'm not being serious.
Right,
So
right.
it's a fun vibe. Sometimes social media doesn't portray what's actually happening in real life, even though you're watching it in real time. Being in a club and feeling that electric and being in that moment where it's just something surreal. So you don't know until you're there, and then once you're there, you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
It's always a Kyle that does some gay shit, Is your name Kyle? All right, thank God. Because the outfit's a little questionable. I'm just saying, it's 2025. It's cool. You know what I'm saying?
I think it transcends. Like, it's definitely in the room. I've seen you live a few times at Governors on both stages, and you always kill and you always do a great job. And it is one of those, you feel the energy in the room. And then I've seen
Right.
also watch your stuff online, and you could still that it still admits you could still feel that who you are, and it still comes across in a positive way. I think it's freaking awesome when you're doing when you're writing comedy. Where are you pulling from? Are you pulling from your childhood, your neighborhood, your relationships? Like, what's your main focus, or where do you get your ideas from?
I would say my comedy, like my style especially, is more like observational, conversational. Right? So I see things, and now I got to talk shit about it. Like that's just, what I mean? I can't even help it. When something crazy happens in my life, because I feel like sometimes my life is like a movie. Like the things that really happen to me in life are so crazy. Like you can't even believe it sometimes. It's so wild. But it happened, so I got to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's great to always have that awareness of, oh shit, you know what? This sucks what's happening right now, but this is gonna be great for the stage later.
100%. I'm like, oh, I can't even believe this just happened. Well, know what I'm talking about next week.
That's just it's so cathartic to be able to do that. So like, talk about taking things that may be going wrong, or things that are crazy, or weird shit that happens, and so it cuts you off on the highway. You have an outlet to get it out of your system. You're not like freaking getting pissed off or going to beat somebody's ass or something like that.
Well, I mean, this is what I tell comedians all the time, especially younger ones learning. I'm like, they're like, "Oh, I'm doing this joke. You want to hear it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So they tell me, and I'm like, "All right, why was this story funny to you? Like, what made you think this was funny? Why did you think, oh, I should say this? People are gonna laugh. What was the key thing that you thought made this funny? That's what you go with, because in the beginning, everyone thinks they gotta write this and that, and I tell people, I used to do it too myself, and I got told by my mentor, this guy Taran Benghazi in L.A. He's like, bro, you don't write the same way you talk. So if you try to read verbatim what you wrote, you're never going to sound right on stage. You have to know you can write, but have your points, have your tags, have your punchlines, have all your hooks, have your premise, but then be in the moment saying it and
Right.
explain why it's funny to you. Because what made you laugh is going to make other people laugh.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I try to always remember, what made it funny to me. And then when I think this is what made it funny right here, I have to bring it here. And then when people laugh at it here, that means I need to bring it here. So I always have to keep like pushing that envelope and go like, even crazier on the
Right.
punchlines and stuff.
Yeah, so you constantly building on it, growing it, pushing it further,
Right.
finding where the line is, crossing it again and again and again, and then finally you'll have.
100%.
And I noticed too a lot of younger comics coming up. A lot of times they're if you go to like the open mics and stuff like that, you see a lot of these young guys that are funny, but they're trying too hard to be edgy, trying too hard with the dick jokes or to wow you or do something off color where you're like what. But it doesn't work when you're new, you know what I mean? Or if you don't have the
Right.
what's your
Because
advice to that?
you don't say it with the confidence you should say it with. And that really goes into the crowd. When you're a young kid and you're like, yeah, and I was having sex, and you're like, were you? Were you having sex? Like, I don't believe it. And if I'm like, yeah, I was bringing this broad all over the place. People are like, this guy's nuts. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a different perception of things, you
It's got to
know?
come from a real place too.
You
Yeah,
gotta own it. You have to literally own whatever you say. You
yeah.
can't apologize for anything. You know, like
I,
this is me. You have to understand that. If you don't like it, this is comedy.
right.
I didn't actually ask you to come here, to be honest with you. So I don't really care.
Now you mentioned having mentors and stuff like that. Who were some of the comics that you looked up to along the way? Like even as a kid, just watching on like the Netflix specials and things like that. Do you
Yeah,
have
like
any?
all the greats. Don Rickles, Rodney Dangerfield. You have, Eddie Murphy at
Yeah,
the time was legendary, right? It's all these guys that came through, the kings of comedy. Like it's really, there wasn't like one specific. I just always loved comedy in general.
right,
Sam Kinison, like, I understood what funny was, what funny, like I could see who's really funny, what's funny. So it was like comedy in general, I just always enjoyed because I enjoyed laughing. I enjoyed that, like, and just watching and seeing the way they think. Like, I'm fascinated by the way people think. So, like, that's why I'll sit and watch and be like, what was on this person's mind? Now I gotta like think of things. What was on their mind? What made them do this? So it's just like watching all these guys. Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart. Shane Gillis today. Probably one of my favorite comedians.
right
Right,
on.
very fun Shane Gillis. So it's just there's just so many inspirations that come through. And you see these guys doing it, they're funny, and it's like, you know what, I could do this too. I think I
Right.
could get there, to that point. I'm pretty.
Hey, we got any lesbians in here tonight? I'm standing in solidarity with my gay drink. It's delicious.
Right on, brother. You're freaking killing it. And yeah, like you said, when you look at comics and you included when you start to break down the material and you're like, where did how are these guys seeing the world differently, like, and finding these little nuggets of gold that have been there the whole time, we just never saw it before. And that's what I love
Right.
about comics, whether it's like I said, like a Mitch Hedberg or Louis C.K. or whoever.
Yeah.
just to be able to view the world or Seinfeld to and to find they're looking through the world through a different lens, man. And I think that's
Yeah.
the beautiful thing about comedians and what you guys are doing is to be able to see this stuff, the world through your eyes, and then somehow translate it to us on the stage in a way that we could laugh at it because ultimately we're all the same, you know.
Right.
Like on your bill, for instance, you got you and Little Mo, two like neighborhood Italian guys, and then you got Sean Brown, black dude, looks like Puff Daddy, looks like P Diddy. But we're all the same. It all unifies. It all makes sense because we're all the same and we're all seeing the world through comedy lenses. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Like maybe a couple of weeks ago, that 71-year-old old man went into a museum and stole a replica gun. Then he went back the next day to return it and they arrested him. The most craziest part of that whole story is, why the is there a museum in Massachusetts?
With the whole Italian side of things, with a lot of Italian comics, especially here in the tri-state area, whether it's Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island, New York, Queens, even Philly. How does your comedy transcend outside of the East Coast, so to speak? Have you tried it?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Believe it or not, LA was probably one of the first places I was more known than anywhere else. Because when I first started doing comedy, I started actually on this app Clubhouse, and during the pandemic, and like really, really getting into it, and a lot of people from LA on there. So I ended up having more friends in the comedy world in LA than I did in New York. Like New York
Nice.
is now like over the last few years, now I've been, back in New York more and this and that because I wasn't living in New York for a few years. So it's now that I'm back and, you know, everything's coming together and it's cool because I kind of feel like I've been doing this the old fashioned way, right? Like in the
Yeah.
world of social media where everything's online, my first few years, I was going state to state and staying, in these states. I was working my day job too. So I was staying in these states and I'm there for a few months at a time. I'm in Philly, I'm in Boston, I'm in Rhode Island, I'm in, New Hampshire, whatever. I'm just all over the place. So it's like I started organically growing in these places. And, one thing led to the other. And, now I'm, on the social media kick too.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm just trying to, every outlet I'm trying to use to grow and, build a fan base so I can make this dream really happen.
I was talking earlier today to Tony Walker. We were pumped about what you're doing, and I did mention that to him. I was like, the difference between you and other kind of social media comics that are popping these days is that you have the stand up thing locked. You're I would say where you're a stand up comedian first, and then a social
Yes,
media presence second. Where a lot of other
100%.
yeah, a lot of other these guys that are popping might be social media sketch guys first and then the comedy second. But I think you're a true comedian, and I think, like I told you before, I think that shines through on stage. I think going through it the way you're going through it is the right way to do it, even though sometimes it might feel like it's the longer road. But
It
I think
is. But I plan. You know what I'm saying? You got a strong base, and we're just gonna let that thing grow for another 100 years.
exactly, man, exactly, dude.
I watched that on Cobra Guy just to throw that out there. I stole that one from Cobra Guy.
So
No, it's true. Like it's strong, having a strong base. I want to be good at this. Like, my ultimate goal is to be, one of the greats. That's what I want. That's what my goal is. Yeah, not just to do stand up, not just to make money, not just to, like, I want to be one of the greats when they're they're interviewing a kid 20 years from now. Who's your favorite? Oh, Dave Chappelle, this one, and then pork chops. Like that's what I
right.
want. Like that's my goal.
That's the heart of a comic, man.
Never did it.
Like, yeah, you're a true stand-up comedian because you're thinking that way. You're not thinking about the now or the likes or how many subscribers. You're thinking about greatness on a different level of being a comedian that will be remembered. And I think that's that's
Yeah.
the ingredient that a lot of comics, the newer guys, aren't getting. That, like, you know what I mean? And I think that's a freaking more people need to think like that in comedy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I gave up a lot. I sacrificed a lot. It's to me, it's worth it. Comedy. Other than kids and family, obviously, but comedy comes first to me. It's the most important thing in my life. And I take it very serious. And even though I fuck around all the time, but I take it very serious. You know, and it's just something that I was born to do, and I know I was.
Right on, brother. And you mentioned, like, Little Mo in your corner and Mike Marino and guys like that. So take me through, like, the seems to be like the growing up Italian guys and Sally Slices and Mario Bosco and all these Italian uh, comics that are popping. I feel like you guys are all kind of interconnected and interwoven, and that there's a lot of good camaraderie amongst all of you. Take me through that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, everybody team in the circles. So, everybody's out there pushing each other in their own way. Growing up Italian, great platform for Italians. They put a lot of people on. They've done a lot of good things for a lot of people. You know what I mean? They show the culture, they show the heritage, they celebrate it, they support it. So, being Italian, it's definitely, you're always going to Italians stick with Italians, It's all, even though we hate each other, we still stick together. It's just how it is. We're Italian. We can't help it. Same thing with Mo. We grew up together, so he's very supportive. We bump heads like brothers. But at the end of the day, me and him cannot be talking. And if he calls me, I call him. Listen, I got a problem. I'll be right there. It's just how it is. It's, you know what I mean? Like this is all one thing, but when it comes to real things, it's a different story. You know what I mean?
Right,
So it's
right.
great, with Booge and Big Joe, this one, like, all these guys are great guys. They're showing a lot of Italian stuff, the heritage and stuff like that. So, these guys are big on social media. They like me. I like them. I'm the funny one. I'm the comedian. So it's fun to have the funny guy around. Everybody needs a class clown. You know what I mean? So keeps things a little, spicy.
Yeah. What's cool is when you grow up with somebody like, if, you and Little Mo, and you guys growing up together, and now you're seeing each other kind of blowing up in the industry. What's that like when, like, all of a sudden you guys are becoming famous together? Like, take me through, like, what does that feel like?
I mean, for me, I don't give a shit. I just think it's funny. You know what I mean? I get weirded out when people come up to me like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's all right. Just for people, let's talk." Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like it. Like, I feel weird when people get all excited to see you. You know what I mean? He's more used to it because he's been dealing with it for years now. You know what I mean? It's like kind of new to me, so it's like I don't know. I'd rather just come up to me and have a conversation. I'll talk to you. Like I'm not into the whole oh my god thing. Like I'm just a person, you know.
And now you're building on it. Now I see you're doing a lot of sketches. It looks like you teamed up with Godfather's Pizza.
Yeah,
Uh,
Goodfellas.
Oh, Goodfellas Pizza, my bad. Goodfellas Pizza. So take me through the relationship with those guys and what you're doing with them, because I love it. It's funny stuff, and shout out to Goodfellas Pizza. Was that in Jersey? Where's that
Yeah,
place?
Vernon, New Jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I gotta check that place out.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, so what I did is I started basically a small little company doing like a production company. So it's called PB&J Productions, and I'm doing like basically almost like social media management for a couple businesses. It's I feel like it goes hand in hand in what I'm doing. So it's like why not? I'm on social media all the time. Why not make it work for me? So these businesses are looking to do skits, do this, really, and they're not social media savvy. So I'll come in, I shoot everything, I edit it, I come up with creative ideas for content, and it seems to be working. So having fun doing it, so we'll see what happens. Oh, maybe I'll be this big media mogul guy. Who knows?
Yeah, you're putting your the iron in a lot of fires, man. But they all make sense. It's all connected. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the Goodfellas stuff is funny. Everybody got to check those out. I'll put one or two of them within this interview, uh, as well.
Who's this walking through the door now?
Yeah, how you doing?
Who's this guy supposed to be? Joe Pepsi?
Where's Robert De Janeiro?
What can I do for you, buddy?
Let me ask you, do you guys have fries that are regular?
What do you mean regular fries?
Because I went to Chick-fil-A,
I can't anymore today. You got this.
right? And they got these fries that come out going this way, they're going that way.
You need summer fries, some of them this way, some of them that way?
They're like these millennials, these dudes, they're going every which way. They're not straight anymore like they used to be, like the fries.
And then,
I think I'm going to drop the Diddy one today.
oh, nice. How's this one go? Can you walk us through it? Give us a little sneak
Yeah,
peek.
basically Diddy. He walks in and we're like, he's not Diddy, but we don't believe him. You know what I mean? So it's the whole back and forth of, he's like, that's not me. And we're like, telling him, take some baby oil or do this. Like just anything just to get that rise. So it should be a fun one.
You should have him doing. He's like taking. You know how some people put the napkin on the pizza to get the oil off. Like what are you? What the hell are you doing? I need this for later, man. Or something like that. Ah, shit.
Oh, man.
So when you're doing sketches and you include people, do you pull from like who's your boys on the scene? Who do you surround yourself with? Any comics that you hang out with that are like in your little
Like
circle?
Fat Jay, I hang out with, Fat Jay.
Yeah,
Fat
yeah.
Jay,
Shout out.
Olga Naima, Sean Brown. I have friends in LA. Like I'm friends with my friend Taran Benghazi. He
Right.
goes on tour all the time with Maz Jobrani. So I'm friends with Maz. I mean, I hang out. I keep a good mix of good, positive people that always, locally we got Silvio,
Yeah.
another one I hang out with a lot. Silvio talk to,
Yeah.
like Big Joe, like that whole crew. So it's like I'm very interactive with a lot of people throughout the day. To be honest,
It's
you
it's a
know?
it's a good group of people. You talk about like Silvio, Fat J, Sean Brown, good
Yeah.
solid core group of guys that are all young, around the same age group as you, and you guys are just all kind of like a new generation of these comics that are just taking it by storm on all forms of media, whether it's on stage. They're all true comics, all social media guys. You guys got a good thing. I think this is like the new kind of template for what comedy is, especially here, in the tri-state, and I think we're going to keep expanding that outward. People are going to start copying what we're doing, out here. So
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even though when Silvio and Jay are on podcasts, they talk shit to me. I don't. I'm better than them. I'm a bigger person. So fuck those scumbags. No, but seriously. Like it's funny because I always like, yo, we got the eight. Like when I see like me, Sean, Olga, and Jay on a lineup, I'm like, they got the A team tonight. What are we
yeah,
doing? Like, you know what I mean? Or me and Jay, it's the dynamic duo. You
right,
know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, so it's like fun. Me and Diddy, it's like, it's wilding out. It's just I got names for everything that like the three amigos, because it's fun because it's we all bring it. We're all good, strong comedians, and a lot of times, especially in comedy too, you have a strong comedian. People are like, oh, I don't want to follow him. I'm like, I want to follow that person. Are you serious? It was so funny because last week we did the show, and Sean Brown, everyone was like, oh man, I don't want to follow Sean Brown. I'm like, I don't want to follow Sean Brown. I'm like, please. And then sure enough, I got the follower. I was like, yes. You know what I mean? Because I like that energy. Like I here's the thing what people don't understand. You think like you're gonna follow someone and you can't keep up, it's gonna be bad. But if you think like that, you won't. But if you think, oh shit, they're gonna have this room open. All I gotta do is bring it and
right,
keep the momentum going and ride the wave and bring that energy. He set the tone. So now rock with it.
right. A lot of people
You
say
know?
that. Like, would you rather follow a killer or would you rather follow somebody who gets bombed? I think
Killer.
you'd rather, yeah, you want to follow somebody a killer because the room is hot.
Yeah, I don't want to have to work. I don't want to spend the first few minutes waking everyone up and rehosting a room.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
not trying to do that. I want to go in hot and get crazy right off Jump Street. You know?
And you MC a lot too, so that's the challenge of an MC is to keep them engaged in between acts and things like that. So what's kind of the secret behind the sauce behind that for you? Just
Energy. It's energy. It's coming out, and you got to. It's literally conditioning the audience, and you got to hit them to let you know, hey, this is a comedy show. We're going to be laughing. Remember, you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. You're conditioning them to laugh. You start getting wild with it. Now they kind of like you. They feel like they can relate to you. You're a cousin. You're a friend. It is. Now every time I come out in between, I'm talking mad shit. We're
Right.
joking around. So you keep that going because like, oh, what is he going to say this time? Who is he waking up? Is I have a tendency to talk shit about the comedians coming out or mess up their names or do something stupid or silly that the whole crowd thinks is funny, and then the comedian comes out pissed off and like, yeah, let's give it up for chopped pork or whatever the fuck this meat's name is, you know what I'm saying? And the crowd loves it. So they don't even realize how like they at first they get mad at the comedians, but then they have a good set. And then like, it's like, yo, I do that on purpose so you have a good set. You know what I mean? Like if you just
Yeah.
come out there and do the same, it's going to be the same result every time. Now if you come out there differently, like this mother, he messed up my name. Oh, no. What do you mean? Watch this. And now you're coming out all crazy and hot, and you have a good show. You have a good
Right.
set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I try to set the tone because one thing I hate is when people say, as a host, I know I'm going to probably get shade for this, but the hosting's the hardest part. It's the hard. I'm taking the bullet. I'm this. I'm that. Guess what? These people paid money to come. They're in a comedy club. They paid money to come to a comedy show to laugh. I don't believe that. That's you're taking a bullet. You're actually the face of the show. You're about to tell these people what the night's going to be like.
Right.
You need to bring it. It's to me, it's one of the most important spots in a show is a host. And it's funny because a white show, right, when it's predominantly more white, the unfunniest person on the show is the host, right? On a black show, the funniest person on the show is the host. So it's like, you know what I mean? How do you get to the middle in that?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I believe that it's never the audience. It's all. I mean, I know there's quiet audience. There's this, there's that. Sometimes people just don't laugh. They just sit there and smile, and you learn that through the years. Not just because they're not laughing, ha ha ha, doesn't mean they're not enjoying themselves.
Right.
So, but I don't believe that. When a host does bad, I think it's an excuse. Because I've proved it and other people have proved it time and time again that we could still murder hosting.
Dude, I agree because I feel like how you do it is you kind of become the audience's friend, and they're all in on it with you. So you're kind of you're fucking around with them or whatever, and then all of a sudden you joke around about the next guy, and you're like, wait till you see this one, and then that one comes on, and they're waiting for your reaction, what you thought of him, and they're like, oh shit, and then you're like, yeah, he was, whatever.
There was one night we did a fundraiser, and Fat Jay, I was going out, I'm like, yeah, this next fucking comedian, fuck this guy. Like, I just started talking mad shit. Bro, it was so funny that people, even Jay was talking to him last night. He goes, bro, I see this guy. He starts telling me this. Next thing you know, I meet them. I go to the pizzeria. He's like, yo, the guy Pork Chop. That night he was saying this, and you came out, you made fun of him. That was the best night ever. Ever. That's what he was saying. Yeah, it's fun when you do shit like that. You know what I mean?
Because then you're
It
making
really
it into a show. Yeah, you're making it into a full show where it's not just
Right.
this guy, this guy, this guy. It's
Right,
all
like,
one.
I'm doing comedy. Here's a
Right.
joke. Like, it's not robotic. It's fucking. It's like, holy shit, this is like a thing. Like, I feel like I'm young again, hanging out with my friends. This is wild. They're making fun of each other. It's exciting. It makes it fun. And to me, it's like even with me, it's not. It's never even like I'm headlining. I'm the headliner. I don't like. To me, it's not about me. I know this is my moment and I know all that other shit, but for me, it's the show. The show has to be good from start to finish. It has to be. It has to do this the whole time. It just does for me. It's not a one-man circus, right? It's
Right.
not like it's a show. Everyone has to do their part. Everyone has to play. Everyone has to be good. It has to be fun, funny. So, for me, like I said, it's never about me. It's always about the show because it's about the audience and we're giving them the entertainment and giving them what they paid for, and
Right
then
on.
some. You know what I mean? So that's important to me.
Right on, man. And that's the way it should be because it is about the show first. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and to have that mindset and to you know, and you're stacking it up, man. You got, Sean Brown, Little Mo, then you. And
Yeah, and then
that's just
we might have a little guest spot in there. You know what I mean? We're hoping if she's in town, we're gonna throw. We know who we're talking about, the princess of governors, right?
yeah, yeah. You mentioned her before, right? Yeah, she
Yeah.
rocks.
So
Shout
she's around. We'll have Olga definitely on. We can't do it without Olga. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, she
So
rocks.
yeah, I'm hoping she's gonna be there so she could do some time too. You
That'll
know?
be awesome. Get
That's
her up.
I'm pissed that Fat Jay's in Florida because I mean I would have like that's my thing. I want certain people like even
Right,
if they do a little time just to have them part of that night would
right,
have been
right.
cool. Like you know what I mean? It's cool for me.
That's cool that yeah, that you
Yeah, because
share
even when
it.
we go over, Jimmy's ain't gonna be pissed.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, these are all his people, man.
Freaking another show, we gotta be tight.
Uh, that's fantastic. So, what do you got like an hour under your belt you gonna do for this?
Yeah, I mean I'll do as much time as I have to. I don't care. You know?
Nice, man.
I'm just gonna go with it. It's like I'm actually happy because I don't have to worry about time anymore.
Right,
Like I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
getting constricted. Like oh, I gotta cut this and say that. I'm like, nah, you just go, not
yeah.
care, just not think, just say, and just whatever comes out of my mouth, we're all gonna be surprised. You know?
Well, that's what's great about you. You got your material. You can play the crowd. You can go off the top. You can go off the dome. You can improv bits. What you see in the room, make moments happen. And it's all like you said. Those 6 years of the grind, man, is all paying off for you, dude. I'm real happy for you. I've known you for a little bit, through Govs and having you on the green room shows and all that stuff. But I'm a fan of you, man. I always talk highly of your stuff whenever your name comes up. So I'm real happy for you, man, and I'm planning to be there, and I'm hoping to see you kick some ass in, my friend.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, man, and
You
and
know
you
what
got
I love? I'm like actually a little nervous, which is amazing because I haven't felt like this in years. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's actually great. I feel alive again. It's like when people cut themselves to feel alive. I gotta feel like that's what this is. You just throw yourself in a fire just to feel something. Just
yeah,
feel something.
dude, you take it to the next level, man, and you're gonna kill it. You surround yourself with great people, and I think you're just gonna fucking kill it. I'm stoked for you. Also, I saw you got merch now. You selling merch and all that kind of stuff. Where could people get the merch, man? At the
Yeah,
show?
I'm resetting up. I had like a thing online, so I'm resetting up a new online store right now for merch and stuff like that, so they could get it on like Instagram, TikTok, uh, Facebook, all that stuff. It's easier like that. I mean, I don't know. To bring a table, set it up, so I can't do it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
too much work. I'm too lazy for that shit. Like, just go online and buy it if you want it. Like.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So you're heading into Philly now, man. So, have a safe travels in Philly, and I guess you just prepping for the big night right now.
Yeah, gonna try out some new. I gotta do some new material. So I'm like that. I need a room. Like I can't do like a set without, especially something very important. I can't do it without doing brand new material. So that like I don't know if it works or not. So like that's the type of psycho I am on stage. Like I'll do a 300-person show and try out 20 minutes of brand new material that I've never said before because I have something wrong with me. Like no other comedian would do that. Like maybe a joke. I'll put in 3 minutes in the middle, see if it works. But you want to make sure like everything crosses. Yeah, no, I'm too stupid for that.
Well, this is great, man. Everybody's got to go out, check it out. Get your tickets at govs.com and see Joey Pork Chops out there with Little Mo, Sean Brown. It's going to be a great night out. Saturday night. Get your tickets now. Pork Chops, where can people find you and follow? What is your Instagram handle?
My Instagram is Pork Chops with a Z Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, your Gumada's cell phone, all of it. It's all there every time.
Well, check him out, everybody, dude. Thanks a lot, man. I know you're traveling. I appreciate you taking the time to get on the show, man, with us. So,
Thanks for having me and helping promote. I appreciate that, bro.
yeah, dude, I want to see you blow up, my friend. Like I said, I'm not only a friend, I'm a fan, my friend, and I want to see you kick some ass. So, keep on
Thank you.
keeping on, and we'll see you on Saturday night.
All right, I'll see you
All
Saturday.
right, Joey Pork Chops, everybody, check him out.
Peace.
Peace.